And we want to welcome you to Boise, capital of Idaho, home of the Broncos of Boise State, facing off against the running Rebels of UNLV. Both teams sitting at 7-6 in the Mountain West Conference, live from ExtraMile Arena in Boise, Idaho. And I am Derek Clark along with Coach Steve Prohm. And Steve, we're going to get a look at two of the most fantastic point guards in the Mountain West in Dre Gibbs-Lawhorn of UNLV and Dylan Andrews of Boise State.
And I'll start with Dylan Andrews first, coming off a phenomenal week, instrumental in the two wins last week for Boise State. Scored the last 8 points in a home win versus Nevada, and then goes on the road and scores 8 out of the last 9 against New Mexico for a 2-0 week, leading to a Conference Player of the Week. On the other end, Dre Gibbs-Lawhorn having an unbelievable season for Josh Pastner's running Rebels. Averaged 40 minutes this past week, did not come out of either game in a 2-0 week for the Rebels. He is going to be an instrumental piece for the Broncos to shut down tonight to get a win.
Starting lineups for both teams. You see Gibbs-Lawhorn and Andrews at the head of the snake. But a guy to keep an eye out for Boise State is Andrew Meadow. Has been one of the most consistent players for Leon Rice. Has never missed a game in his Boise State career. And Walter Brown slides into the center spot for Emmanuel Steffen, who have been starting for most of the season. And here is a look at first-year head coach Josh Pastner, taking over for Kevin Kruger. Spent the last couple of years on TV with us, but now he is back in the coaching ranks to lead this team. And on the other side, Leon Rice, whose Boise State resume cannot be understated. Got his 300th career win last year for Boise State, and he's trying to lead these Broncos back into the Mountain West contention and trying to get back to the NCAA tournament after a year away. Fork in the road game for both of these teams in the Mountain West, both sitting at 7-6. Boise State has won 6 of their last 7, UNLV the last 2. And the tip is away, controlled by the running Rebels and Dre Gibbs-Lawhorn. First possession. Here is Benarbi down low and rebounded by Drew Fielder. And now here comes Boise State. So you saw they paid pretty close attention there, Steve, to Dre Gibbs-Lawhorn when he came around for that handoff. They didn't even let him see it. Backdoor pass, here goes Meadow, and that's an already slam dunk for Boise State. And Josh Pastner is upset. That's not how he wants to see his running Rebels start, is it, Coach?
Really good vision right there from the big fella, Drew Fielder. Great cut by Meadow.
UNLV in a little bit of a bottle offensively. Gibbs-Lawhorn calling out the plays. Now he comes back to get. Wants to get into his ISO bag. They show 2. Hamilton's got to look at a 3. Knocked down, no call. Rebound Meadow in Boise State. Meadows. Her screen. Spinning around, here's Fielder, and doesn't quite get it. As Andrews used the pick, and Fielder got it, just missed the layup.
You can see right here, when your big fella has this kind of vision, Drew Fielder, he gets on the back screen, there's no help. You either got his show right there with UNLV on the back screen, Gibbs-Lawhorn has to check right there, or they've got to switch that. Really good cut by Meadow, great pass by Fielder, the big fella.
Foul went against Benarbi, who picks up his first. And Fielder at the line, knocks the first one down. And Coach, a theme of this game for UNLV is they have got to play defense without fouling. That is one thing that they have really struggled with this season. They are 3rd in the entire country in fouls committed per game.
They protect the rim, they get steals, they force turnovers, but defending without fouling, that's a #1 key to improvement as they go down the stretch. Boise State already doing a good job, taking advantage of their post play with Fielder and Meadow.
Here are the 2 point guards facing off against each other. They again deny the handoff from Gibbs-Lawhorn. Williamson. Back rim no good. It's tipped around and controlled by Boise State. Here comes Andrews. Pass break. Buchanan trapped. Pearson Carmichael's open, he says, and they close out on him. Good job by the defense of UNLV. But Buchanan's open now. And it's tipped back to the arms of UNLV.
Boise State doing a good job right now, switching out on Gibbs Lawhorn so he cannot get the basketball back.
And Pearson Carmichael picks up the foul. Matched up against the much bigger Jacob Benarby. And Benarby, the one lone holdover from the UNLV roster from last year. 13 new faces added to Josh Pastner's team, but Benarby stuck around.
He did. He stuck around, and he gives his team great energy, great rebounding at the 5 spot.
They were looking for Gibbs Lawhorn. Now he's got it. Hamilton, screen. Brown sees a lane, runs out of room, but Hamilton suspended in the air, can't get the layup to go.
Good ball movement right there by UNLV. You just have to finish that, Hamilton.
A hard hedge. Fielder finds himself open. Goes to the basket, tries to draw contact, no call, gets his own rebound. Fighting, clawing, scratching, turning, and leaving it short. UNLV, the freshman Williamson, trying to find a way to scratch for the first time. Here's a guy to do it. It's Hamilton. He's been a scorer. Came over from High Point as a scorer. This is a guy that doesn't need any introduction. And he knocks down the first three-pointer of the game. UNLV and they're on the board.
Gibbs Lawhorn shooting the ball too well from 3 to give him that much space, that much room. They have to close up, contest, get a hand up. His shot has to be contested.
Andrew, they switch. Major mismatch, and Fielder takes advantage. I'm not sure they wanted Gibbs Lawhorn to switch on the bigger guy. I don't even think he saw him shooting over him, did he?
Well, if you switch, you got to switch to deny. And he let the easy catch, and then Fielder's going to be able to shoot the shoulder, shoot over the shoulder Gibbs Lawhorn.
Hamilton for Gibbs Lawhorn. He's in isolation land. Wants to go to work. Pull up. Tough shot. That one's off. And good job by Boise State on the defensive glass so far. And looking for a deep ball, but Benarby, if that's on him, he's going to pick up his second as he was trying to deny the Hail Mary.
UNLV number 10, Jacob Benarby. That's his second team. Welcome into the Broncos, number 9.
And we want to welcome you who just joined us here on FS1. Still early here, as Boise State has a 7-3 lead early on against the Run Rebels of UNLV. Both teams tied at 7-6 in the Mountain West. A pivotal game for both teams as they try to move up in the standings. Parolin in the game. Andrews sees himself up. Fight for the board, controlled by Andrew Meadow. Andrews finds himself left wide open. And they control another offensive rebound, almost. Oh, Pearson Carmichael. Good job there. They keep it alive, and Boise State's got another offensive rebound.
Boise State out-rebounded by 7 in Vegas. Really dominant in glass right now. You've got to do a better job switching. Hand down, man down, Fielder for 3. Boise up by 4.
Well, a few weeks ago, Boise State was down bad, fighting their way to get back into the Mountain West picture. Started the season 1-5, but their last 7 games, they've won 6. Coach, what's the biggest reason you think for their turnaround here?
I asked Leon Rice the other day at practice, what's the biggest reason 6-1 over the last 7 games? He talked about the commitment. The guys made a commitment to make everyone around them better. And when you're scoring 85 points a game, it's almost 10 points more than you were previously. You're being unselfish, you're playing the right way. And then the three-point line has been such a difference maker, making 10 threes a game in that 7-game stretch.
Yeah, Coach Rice also mentioned he felt the spirit and energy of his practices were high and continue to be that way throughout even the losing streak, and that's why they were able to mentally fight their way through that cold stretch. Now they're down bad in the shot clock. Carrollyn fouls her way. Back rim no good. And can UNLV finally get a defensive rebound? They can. Well, not according to Pearson Carmichael, who thought he had another save, but it'll go to UNLV.
Boise State, talking with Leon Rice yesterday at practice, he talked about 3 non-negotiables for them. Elite ball movement, relentless rebounding, and you've got to be the toughest competitor on the floor. They do the rebounding. That's in their DNA. And they've been grading out an A. And now they're starting to get the ball movement better. They're starting to compete better. But the thing they didn't do in Las Vegas was rebound a basketball, and they're already off to a terrific start tonight here back at home.
Brief pause in the action for Buchanan to put his shoes back on. By the way, those shoes that Boise State's wearing, have you noticed they're half pink, half light pink?
That's how they like them, Derek.
Keene just checked into the game, coming off the bench after missing last game with an illness. Oh, they just leave Williamson wide open and he can't hit. Breakdown in defense, but UNLV can't make him pay. Andrews negotiated, picked up his dribble. Not a lot of ball movement early on, a little stagnation from Boise State. Buchanan sees a mouse in the house. And what a rejection by Steffen off the bench, introducing himself to Boise State.
That's the one thing, UNLV, they're going to block shots. You can see right here, Buchanan, shot fake, and then Steffen. Your best shot blockers usually aren't on the ball shot blockers. They're away from the ball. They're rotating from the help side, and Steffen's sitting there waiting on Buchanan. The great Bill Russell, he used to tap those back in bounds and keep live balls and then having his team transition the other way. Steffen, though, great energy coming into the game.
Steffen coming off the bench. He was a starter as he's ripped from behind. And Meadow steals it back. Oh, they're playing bowling out here. The ball's on the ground. They're falling like pins. And it's going to be a jump ball. And it's going to remain with Boise State.
Like the energy from both teams. You can see 50-50 ball, first to the floor. Who's going to get it? Williamson, second time with a back scrape, tipping the ball, and then 2, 3, 4 different guys on the floor. Big play, jump ball, stay with Boise State.
Good job by the Boise State crew, mopping up the moisture on the floor.
Such a big conference game. Both teams sit a game out of 5th, 2 games out of 4th. The top 4 get a bye in the conference tournament.
Nato in the game. Carrollyn almost shuffled his feet. Also Ahrens. Now Boise State's moving the ball. And UNLV scrambling. They take it away.
Williamson doing such a great job of back tipping the basketball.
Fleming in the game for UNLV. Gibbs Lawhort in the face of a defender. Steffen on the offensive glass. Somehow avoids the travel. At least not according to the crowd. And here's Williamson now 30 feet away. Williamson, oh, what a nifty move. Couldn't finish. Steffen on the glass. He couldn't finish either, and here comes Boise State. Nato for Meadow, fires a 3. And another 50-50 ball that Boise State has come up with. That's a theme, Coach. Ahrens has all day, has all night, and he drops it in.
That's the one thing the freshman can do, Derek. Really can shoot the ball from 3, spot up threes. They're excited about his skill level and his upside for the freshman from Canada. Was a part of under-19 Canada in the World Cup. Offensive rebounding. What does offensive rebound kickouts usually lead to? Scramble defense, don't get matched up. Ahrens with an easy look at the 3. You cannot give him uncontested looks. Unselfish basketball, wide open 3. UNLV, they've got to slow down. They've got to pick up their intensity defensively on the glass and limit these offensive rebounds, getting dominated right now in the hustle stats. And then offensively, they're okay. They're okay. They've taken some good looks. They've missed a couple opportunities. They just got to settle down.
So the pause in the action was because Williamson got hit in the head. And he was holding the right side of his head. Brown is going to come in for him. And they'll take a look at Williamson on the bench. Now the referees will take a look to see if any extra histrionics were involved. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. Did you, Coach?
I didn't see anything. see what the refs doing a good job collaborating over there at the scorer's table. You can see Williamson up and under. Steffen trying to get the putback. Almost should come down with two hands and then go back up.
Yep, so no foul play.
Just a basketball play. Good job by the officiating. Short and sweet. Let's play basketball. One of my favorite freshmen just checked into the game.
Oh, yeah.
For UNLV, yep. Tyron Jones. I think he's on everybody's radar, everybody's map. Everybody's slowly in this league falling in love with this freshman.
Yeah, the second you said my favorite freshman, I knew exactly who you were talking about. Oh, that's Tyron Jones right there. Keep an eye out for him. A talented freshman with impressive size. Nato on the glass, and Boise State is just dominating the glass so far. And it continues. And a foul on the glass was Kamani Hamilton.
Boise State doing a terrific job defensively. They've got so much length and size at the 3-4, 2, 3, 4, and 5 that they really keeping UNLV out of the paint and taking contested jump shots.
UNLV, we played almost 7 minutes, and they've only got 3 points. And they fell for an up fake. Fielder needs some help. Carmichael down for Fielder. They doubled, but it was too late. And Fielder, nice little jump hook in the paint. UNLV has got to find a way to crack this scoring drought. Here's a guy to do it. There's 2 guys to do it. Hamilton, he's a good 3-point shooter. Knocks it down.
Good unselfish play by Gibbs Lawhorn. Anytime you have 2 on the ball, the right play, give it up. Wide open shot for Hamilton. Knocks it down.
Hamilton, a 34% 3-point shooter on the season. Fielder is feeling it. Hamilton in some trouble, and that looked like a foul, no call, but they'll play off. Carmichael with his head up. No look to Aarons, flying down the middle. Right down the freeway for a dunk.
Josh Pastner may want to be careful right here. Maybe not going to call timeout, but transition defense was one of the major keys he talked about. Nobody back. Can't give up uncontested layups on the road.
Boise State up 17-6. Jones, quick first step. Washing machine spin move, left it short. Hamilton picks up the glass. Gibbs Lawhorn. Boom.
The thing I love about this UNLV team, and I watched them play at Utah State in that big road win, they are resilient. They're going to continue to come at you. Too much space for both teams from the 3-point line. Fielder, too much space on the last one. Gibbs Lawhorn, too much space there. And again, right on cue, Hamilton has to crawl up into Fielder and make him a driver, make him bouncing on the floor.
And Boise State stole the possession of the backcourt. But how about Drew Fielder? He has been absolutely scorching from downtown.
Great strip. Pearson Carmichael. Nobody gets Aarons going to the rim. Slam dunk for the Boise State Broncos. And then Fielder, you've got to crowd him. Broncos up 11.
Well, Drew Fielder has been absolutely scorching. And this is a guy they brought in, Coach, to replace some of the production. You can't replace Tyson Dagenhart, but Drew Fielder has been everything that Boise State has wanted to have out of their guy from the stretch 5 at forward position.
He's back home, and he's playing really well, and he's too comfortable right now. UNLV's letting him be too comfortable. He's 3 for 3 from the 3. Hamilton's got to get in his space. He's got to crowd his space more. He's got to make him put it down on the floor. He's 37% from 3. Too good of a shooter to get that many open looks.
Now UNLV getting out-rebounded and dominated on the glass and in the 50-50 balls. And they're just 3 of 14 overall. And they throw it away. And that's got to be something that you're a coach. What'll tick you off the most? A turnover out of a timeout. Isn't that right?
The one promising thing is a dead ball turnover. So as a coach, you're looking at it both ways. We turned it over. We didn't execute, so you're frustrated about that. But it's a dead ball turnover, so at least we can get our defense set and we can guard them in the half court.
Boise State back on the attack.
UNLV now in zone, the 1-1-3.
And if I'm not mistaken, did he bank that? Nevertheless, it went in. And Carmichael's now on the board. And again, that's another thing, Coach, that Pastner was talking about in the shoot-around. If they're going to play that zone, they cannot give up the corner three, and they just did.
But too easy to get it to the corner. The wings got to have more activity. But they've got great length on the wings. Got to be more active and make it a tougher pass.
And another turnover for UNLV. And mass substitutions coming in for Josh Pastner.
Boise State right there. Hamilton, when they make that three in the corner right there, Hamilton, he's got to get bumped down, and with his bottom to the baseline, he's got to drop back and take away that pass. But the guard's got to be quicker to the wing to bump Hamilton back, and then Hamilton's got to really discourage that corner three.
Now Green checks in for the first time for Josh Pastner. Carmichael pump faked himself out and still knocked it down. I mean, he was pump faking the ghosts in front of him, and he still hit it.
One of the major keys coming in tonight for UNLV, limit threes, limit threes, limit threes. Three-point line is in high effect for Boise State tonight.
You feel early on, this is a big possession for UNLV. 2 turnovers their last 2, and now they're down 26-9. Jones trying to do it himself, crashing his way in, but it's not going to go. Broncos running again. They have 3 guys swarming errands, and we'll see who gets the foul call.
Right now for UNLV, too much one-on-one play. Tyron Jones, he doesn't have an angle. He's got to kick that ball up. You don't want bad shots at the rim. Bad shots at the rim are always going to lead to easy opportunities for the offense, for the defense, as they transition to to the offensive side of the floor, as you can see right there.
Foul originally was called on Williamson, but may have gone to Green. We'll clean that up for you when we get clarity. And yep, it is on Green. That's his first, as Aarons knocks down the free throw.
As a coach, you can talk X's and O's and execution and different things. UNLV's energy level has to raise up. Their energy level's got to raise up on the defensive end, and then their pace and ball movement's got to change on the offensive end of the floor. They've been down in games before on the road. They're down 12-14 at Utah State, came back. They have to weather the storm right now and just try to get this thing from 19 to 15, 15 to 10 as they finish this last 9 minutes of the first half.
And Coach, I don't know if you're seeing the same thing that I'm seeing from UNLV, but it doesn't really seem like anyone wants to shoot the ball other than Dre right now.
Eric, to be honest, there's not many opportunities. Boise's really in the gaps. They're keeping everything out of the paint, and UNLV does not have a back-to-the-basket score. They've got more of a, in the front court for them, is more just tip-ins and layups.
Good job on the glass by Steffen, but it's ripped out of his hands by Field. Swinging around again. Carmichael's got it in that same corner. Trying to take on a smaller defender. Green holds his ground. Fielder fires away again.
Very fortunate there. Fielder missed, but again, another wide open look.
They double Green. They leave Williamson. They need this badly. Not going to get it. And Andrews gets in there for a rebound. Andrews negotiating, probing. Oh, left the defender in the dust. Hello. What a hesitation by Dylan Andrews. UNLV trying to go quickly. Williamson cut off by Buchanan. A lot of one-on-one. Green, pull back, mid-range. No good. Great energy that time by UNLV. And it's still going to go to Boise State. That's how it's gone.
The one who's led the resurgence of these Boise State Broncos over the last couple weeks, the point guard, Dylan Andrews. A little scoop to the rim, beautiful finish. Hesitation, up by 21, the Broncos.
Boise State, who played in that tournament last year, right now, Coach, they're on a 13-0 run, and they've dominated pretty much all the hustle stats of this game so far.
The rebounding is all Boise State. The ability to make threes, all Boise State. The energy level is just different from the Boise State Broncos, and that's the difference of the game. Following UNLV, and if you followed them long enough this year, they almost have two versions of themselves. Team A, the team that wins at Utah State, at Memphis, at Stanford, beats Grand Canyon at home, and then Team B, which is down 21 right here, or lost to Wyoming in a big way up in Laramie.
Buchanan now has a one-on-one if he wants it. They don't show two, and that's too easy.
Brown's got to give more resistance, resistance. Buchanan's got good size. He brings, they call him the connector, and he missed the last game they played in Las Vegas. He brings great physicality to this team, and he's a connector.
Meanwhile, somebody has got to put the ball in the hole for UNLV, and Jones just can't get anything in. He is going to draw a foul.
Tyron Jones, I touched on earlier when he subbed in the game how much I'm a big fan of his. Great athleticism, great toughness. He plays with great energy, and he's just wiry and crafty around the basket. One of the top shot blocker in the Mountain West Conference. In the win at Utah State, he goes 10 for 12. He's a 50% free throw shooter, goes 10 for 12 from the line at Utah State in a huge win for them. They just got to stay at it. Everything right now for UNLV offensively is hard. Boise State doing a great job, and they fouled right there, but staying between their man and the basket.
Jones is a local kid from Las Vegas. He was actually signed under the previous staff when he was a senior in high school under the previous regime, but elected to stay. He had options, yeah, he had options. He chose UNLV over New Mexico, Santa Clara, and UC Santa Barbara.
Smart move by Coach Passner to keep him.
This time they double Buchanan, and they force a miss. But now they've got to do something about the offensive side of the ball. Green, Carmelo mid-range. Got it.
Al Green makes that shot, but if you're Boise State defensively, you're going to live with a 20-foot mid-range, foot on the line too. And that's contested. You'll live with that all night.
Maryland gets the handoff. Andrews spinning. Carmichael jacks up a triple. And Hamilton really tried to box out, but the persistence of Parolin on the glass came up with a loose ball again.
Hamilton, 50-50 ball. He's got to come up with that. Parolin just gets around him and gets an offensive rebound. Carmichael feeling too good right there. I thought that three was a little rushed and contested.
Hamilton then picked up the foul. That's his second. And he also has had trouble with fouls. He leads the Mountain West in fouls coming in to this game with 87. Neto now sees a smaller player on. Patience, turns, glass, it's good.
Great footwork right there. Great footwork right there by Neto. Really good finish around the basket.
Coach, I feel like we've gone back in time 10 years with all these post-ups around the paint.
What Boise State does, they like to beat you up inside in the paint. Al Green making me look bad right there, so I'll keep shooting those mid-range twos, Coach. But everything still is tough for UNLV. They got to get better movement. The ball's got to move quicker.
UNLV is shooting 24%, 5 of 21 from the floor. Here's Buchanan now, who did not play in the last game these two teams faced off against. He's back in the lineup, and he goes to the rim and draws another foul for UNLV. And, you know, Boise State probably feels like, and I know they do feel like, if they had Javen Buchanan, they would have won that game they played at Las Vegas.
Well, the one thing as coaches, Leon Rice is thinking about today. Win the day, win the day, win the day. Because you could go back and talk about the San Diego State game.
Yeah.
They had opportunities to win that game, close that game out. I think that game actually affected their home games against Utah State, Grand Canyon, 2 tough home losses where they would have thought maybe coming home after San Diego State road win, maybe they could get a split. But they've won 6 quad 1 and quad 2 games. Boise State is 6-6 against quad 1 and quad 2. They've got an opportunity, if they could win tonight, to go to Utah State for another quad 1 opportunity. They just got to keep playing the next game.
Hamilton picked up his 3rd. And that's been the story of his season and really his career. He was also in a lot of foul trouble when he was at High Point, and that's something that head coach Pastner was talking about. He said that him and Stephen had a lot of bad habits that he's tried to coach out of them in terms of fouling. And it's not been the easiest task. Here's Andrews. They got a 3-on-2. Oh, R.J. Keene thought about it. They'll reset. Gannon. Now they got to switch. A much smaller Gibbs Lawhorn on him. They show 2. Skip. Neto. Someone's got to shoot. Keene's going to jack it up. And R.J. Keene, a lot of times last year, he passed up a lot of good shots. Leon Rice likes the way he's played this year. Has made some better, quicker decisions with shooting the basketball as foul drawn by Benarbi.
Good hard roll, right? Good hard roll by Benarbi. Just not able to finish. But just to touch on R.J. Keene, he was sick. He missed the last game at New Mexico because of the flu. I was talking with him in warm-ups, joking with him about, he was asking me what his three-point percentage was earlier at shoot-around. I told him he's shooting 35% from 3. So he talked about, well, that's pretty good. And he goes, but Coach, I'm the glue guy. You know, I understand my role, and I'm bought into that. And that was refreshing to hear. And I reminded him, I said, hey, RJ, you are 47 assists to 9 turnovers. He's over 5-to-1 assist to turnover from on the perimeter as a 2-3 for the Broncos. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, he averages 2 assists per game from that glue guy spot, as you said.
Start getting everybody to embrace their roles, like Coach Rice said at practice the other day. Now you start winning 6 out of 7, 7 out of 8, and winning streaks start coming alive.
Buchanan now one-on-one again. Are they going to show him 2? In some trouble. Low pass, and that's going to be a turnover. Carmichael's just going to grab it to make sure Tyron Jones could not. And so, good defensive possession there by UNLV, but they will need a lot more where that came from if they are going to get back into this game. Boise State running away with this one early against the Running Rebels. Boise State at home dominating this one thus far. Up 36-17 in this first half. And coming up at the half, we will have our first half highlights and stats. Mike Hill and Seth Davis will preview all of the great college basketball action coming up tomorrow on Fox.
Derek, it is extremely hard to win on the road. When you give up 6 threes in the first 17, 16 minutes of the game, you're being out-rebounded plus 10. You've turned it over 4 times, and you shoot 22% from the field. UNLV, these last 3.5 minutes, can they get it under 15? If you get it under 15, that means early in the second half, quickly you can get it to a 10, under 10 or a 10-point game. So these last 3:40 are critical for them right now with great execution.
Speaking of execution, Coach, let's see how they execute this out-of-bounds play. And there's going to be a holding foul before the ball was even inbounded. I believe that's on Jones. Nope. That's going to go against NATO.
Boise State still has a foul to give before the 1-and-1.
And there's an execution, and rising and slamming it down was the athlete Tyron Jones, so they do execute.
Again, on these back screens, you either have to switch that or the screener's defender has to check the cutter.
I asked you earlier, is there anything that, as a coach, makes you madder than a failed execution out of an out of a timeout? But maybe the other thing that might make you mad is when you get a wide open dunk off an inbound on the baseline.
Boise State just didn't do a good job protecting the basket from the underneath out of bounds standpoint.
They double gives Lawhorn. Here's Jones going to the rim and finishes again. Here comes the freshman, Leon Rice. Doesn't like it.
Derek, and that's the Derek, that's the herky-jerky game I talked about. Great little crossover. He's got a really great knack of finishing around the rim with different moves. And you can see nobody helps on the back screen. Easy dunk. Very, very athletic right there. And then one more time here. Nice little crossover. And then a great finish. And Fielder, great contest. But Jones just too long, too athletic. And those are some of the traits that really stick out when you watch this young freshman on tape. The length, the versatility, and the ability to really put pressure on the rim 15 feet and in.
And, Coach, as you mentioned, now it's UNLV's turn. They're on a little 6-0 run.
They get it down to 15 that quick, so now it becomes a mini goal.
Yeah.
Now let's see if we get it to 12.
Yeah. And you saw right when Leon Rice called that timeout, he went straight over to, I believe that was Buchanan and Fielder. He did not like how they guarded both of those last two plays. Now Ahrens is in the game again. Boise State trying to get back in the scoring column. Good defense here by UNLV. Andrews. Fielder. They better send help. They don't, and they pay for it. Coach, why are they not sending help? Didn't they go over that in the shoot-around?
That's one thing, just too deep. Fielder gets that deep. They've got to run some bodies and try to dig the ball out of the post, or he's just going to make that. He's buried under the basket right there.
Brown now has it down low. Bernarby forcing his way in. Good idea. And he does. And we were watching Jacob Bernarby in the shoot-around. He's actually got a decent-looking stroke. He doesn't shoot any threes, though, on the season. 0 for 2 from the three. And I wonder why he doesn't take any more of those. He's a good-looking shooter, but maybe that's the plan for him.
I think he's doing right what Josh Pastner wants him to do in that last possession.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Drive the ball, finish around the basket. One of the big keys, Josh Pastner said, if they're going to finish well, they need production from the five-man. And that doesn't mean scoring for them. It means, can you rim run? Can you play pick-and-roll offense and defense the right way? Can you rebound the basketball for us?
And here he goes again. So Bernarby is getting aggressive. Draws the foul on Drew Fielder. And here come the Rebels.
Again, when you get down this big on the road, you've got to start looking at it in mini games. You can't look at, we're down 19, we're down 21. You got to play mini games within the game, and UNLV and Coach Josh Pastner doing a very good job of that right now.
Josh Pastner wants to talk something over here. Now, Coach, what's Josh Pastner talking about? Is he talking about sort of what you said, that the mini game, or what is he going over right now with his team? Do you think?
In this moment, in this timeout, it's about execution. It's about, can I go score, stop, score? Can I execute underneath out of bounds? And if we don't get anything about it, anything out of the first quick hitter underneath out of bounds, when we get it in, what are we looking to get the ball to? Are we trying to get something for Dre Gibbs Lawhorn right here? Or are we trying to get something for Tyron Jones? Or Bernarby isolated at the elbow? And then defensively, reiterating, post defense. We've got to get more resistance against Fielder. If it goes in there, do we need to show more hands and try to scrape the ball or dig the ball out of the post and send help? Problem with sending help against Fielder, he can pass out of the post, and Boise State, with Ahrens out there and Carmichael out there and Andrews out there, those are three guys that are 30-plus three-point shooters.
Howie Fleming Jr., transfer from Rio Grande Valley, Texas, will inbound it. And he found the right guy. And Dre Gibbs Lawhorn, he's heating up from back there. And here come the running Rebels as Gibbs Lawhorn is fired up.
Josh Pastner calls him the Energizer Bunny for this basketball team.
And it was blocked. I think they're going to call a goaltender basket interference. Jones is pleading with this coach to challenge the call. He got up there. It looked like he initially might have got it cleanly, but maybe he slapped the backboard too hard. Or
if the ball goes on the rim and it touches the backboard and then Jones blocks it, it's an automatic. And we've got to look at it right here. Trey Gibbs Longhorn just beat on the back cut. He can't beat on the back cut. That ball's off the glass. That's an automatic too. Good call by the referees.
You always see players, they think they got something, they want to challenge it, but sometimes the coach has got to say, nope, not this time, young fella.
Oh, Gibbs Longhorn too much energy right there and then gets beat on the back cut. He's got to stay in the moment.
Narby in some trouble, needs help. Jones, look at the wiry nature of Jones, just missed it at the rim.
That's his move, he just has to finish that.
Big possession here for the Rebels defensively. As Boise State running out of room, bad play by Aarons.
Very good job defensively right there. Very good job defensively in their rotations. Nobody slapping down, nobody reaching, walling up, staying vertical. UNLV and shoot around. The first thing they did in shoot around today was a verticality drill and a rotation box out drill. Proved very, very important right there in that play.
And Spencer Aarons has played pretty well for Boise State, a true freshman, shooting 39% from three. However, he kind of got stuck in no man's land, not really knowing what to do there. Made a freshman mistake. Skip pass. Brown fires away and knocks it down. And by the way, the outstretched arms of Pearson Carmichael nearly got it, but he wasn't quick enough. Then now here come the Rebels. They've cut it to 11.
Walter Brown played 35 minutes the other night against San Jose State. He was instrumental in their road win against Utah State because of all the foul trouble. Big three by Walter Brown.
Last possession for Boise State. Here goes Andrews. Parolin. Back for Andrews. Andrews, 3 seconds. In for Parolin. And can't beat the buzzer. And UNLV, coach, has got to feel really, really good about how they finished that half. From the way this game was going and the way they recovered, that definitely feels like a win for Josh Pastner, does it not, coach?
Following UNLV over the last several weeks, they are about resiliency and perseverance, and you saw that the last several minutes of the first half.
So Boise State, they are 15-0 when they're leading at the half, but UNLV made a late push. Once again, these two teams tied right at 7-6. We will see who gets the better of each other. Don't go away. You're watching Mountain West Basketball After Dark on FS1. Here at halftime at ExtraMile, Boise State right now with a 40-29 lead. And Boise State right now is having a great game, but coach, UNLV got back in the game late. It's been Trey Gibbs Longhorn and Drew Fielder who have done the majority of the heavy lifting for both teams.
Starting with Drew Fielder, the hometown hero from Boise, Idaho, having a terrific first half, inside and outside, uncontested threes. They've got an advantage inside, takes his time, nice jump hook. And then again, Hamilton, too late, another three from Fielder, and again, too late, good rhythm threes. High 30s, almost shoots 40% from three. Can't give him uncontested looks. And then the Energizer Bunny, the one that keeps UNLV afloat. Again, beautiful three, back-to-back threes. If you're Boise State, what you're frustrated about is all the uncontested threes for Gibbs Longhorn.
They call him Dre. Full name is Draven. And he has been just so good for UNLV. He's really carried the offense, leading the Mountain West in points per game. And if UNLV was a little bit better, he may be in the running for player of the game, or player of the year, excuse me. We'll get a look at how UNLV can see if they can try to get back into this one as we look forward to the second half. And back with you here in ExtraMile Arena. The Boise State Broncos currently have a 40-29 lead. Both teams, of course, as I mentioned earlier, tied in the Mountain West standings. A fork in the road game for both of these teams. First possession for the running Rebels, who were down by as many as 23, but have cut it back to an 11-point game. Jones. Crossover a little too quick for himself, and they bail him out with a foul call. And Buchanan looked like he knocked knees with Jones. They'll try to run it off.
For Buchanan right there, Tyron Jones is driving uphill. No reason to foul. He's driving away from the goal. Allow him to continue to drive it uphill. He's not putting pressure on the rim. No reason to reach, foul, and get a cheap one right there.
So both players able to run it off. Looking for Gibbs Lawhorn, backdoor, can't give it to him. Fleming on a curl. Giant hop step. And what a play out of the halftime. And look at this, the running Rebels have cut it to single digits. Here they come.
Terrific pass, terrific footwork by Walter Brown.
Fielder, wow, not sure why he didn't take that shot, and a bad foul there by the freshman Jones.
Terrific cut by Walter Brown. Anytime you see your defenders back and the ball's driven at you, it's a great opportunity to back cut. Meadow overplaying, he sees the overplay, great back cut, but a great job by UNLV playing off 2 feet right there, keeping the ball in front, not traveling, and making a very, very good pass for an easy layup.
And Coach, we've certainly seen some strange games here in the Mountain West, but I have no idea how UNLV is back in this game. I mean, they were getting blasted out of the water. And now they have all the momentum, Coach.
Resiliency and perseverance. That's been their staple all season long. They've dealt with injuries. They've dealt with different guys in and out of the lineups. They've won big games at home. They've won on the road.
Oh, just missed that one at the cup. That would have made things interesting.
Fleming probably wants to try to finish that one with his left hand away from the defender.
Andrews has been quiet, rises for a jumper, and knocks it down.
Dylan Andrews has been the staple over the last several weeks of Boise State's resurgent. He's got to really pick it up this second half.
Jones kept his pivot down. Oh, there's Bernarby. He fires away, and he gets the roll. We talked about it, Coach. Now we see it. He knocks down his first three-pointer of the season, and it's an 8-point game. Got the friendly roll too, Coach.
1 for 3 now on the year.
And breakdown defensively as Andrews snuck behind the Rebels. And back and forth we go. 10-point game again. Gibbs Lawhorn. Nothing but the bottom of the net. And UNLV continues its electrical surge here in Extra Mile.
Both teams really struggling to defend a three-point line. No urgency in their closeout and always closing out with their hands down.
Fielder has a look at the three again, and he's still scorching from there.
The major difference over the last couple weeks, I talked individually, has been Dylan Andrews for Boise State has stepped his game up, but the three-point shooting has been very, very instrumental the last couple weeks for Boise State. 10 threes a game they've averaged.
And Drew Fielder is knocked down 4 of 5. Gibbs Lawhorn, 2 people in his face, just a tad bit short.
UNLV shooting it as well as Boise State from 3. An unfamiliar three-point shooter. Bernarby gets the roll, and then you've got to close out better. Dylan Andrews, good 3 right there by Dre Gibbs Lawhorn.
Fleming nearly gets a steal, and he does get a steal, and that should be a foul on Meadow, I believe. I think. Or are they going to give it to Fleming?
I think they're going to give it to Fleming on a hold.
Refs are talking about, yep.
I think because it was from the baseline, he may have had that angle to where he could see Fleming possibly holding. We've got to look at it right here. Great denial. That's how you want to shoot the gap. And they're going to get him holding Meadows' shorts right in that situation. You can see Fleming's hands go down. Does a great job with the deflection. But so Meadow can't get back to the ball, Fleming puts that right hand on his shorts.
Yeah, it looked like, Coach, he may have gotten the first deflection clean, but continued to hold on as he was trying to get the loose ball.
Yeah, that right hand held the shorts.
Yeah. And now, coach, they're going to say inadvertent whistle, so no foul at all. Interesting. You thought there was contact, but the refs actually say, you know what, we're going to let him play a little bit.
I was trying to make the ref look good right there. I was trying to make the ref look good in explaining why he may have called that. But he did hold, but that's a 50-50 play. You got to let those guys play right there. Fleming with a very good deflection and a big defensive play and a big turnover there for the Rebels.
And that may have taken away an easy bucket by Fleming. So I'm sure a no-win situation there for Pastner. Took away the foul, but didn't get the bucket. Here's Fleming. He's doubled. He's in trouble. Shot clock under 10. Jones going to back it out. Turn on the speed. Gets it down for Benarbi. Oh, my goodness. What a play there. All created by Tyron Jones.
This young freshman, the ability to make plays off the dribble.
Oh, boy.
Protect the rim. Finish around the basket. Great vision on that unselfish play for a nice layup for Benarbi.
Andrews spinning around a Fielder screen. Fielder yanks and fires again. What did this man have in his coffee this morning? And at some point, UNLV has got to show him a hand. Jones in some trouble and throws it away. Here comes Boise State. Here's a deep ball to Pearson Carmichael. And oh, he nearly brought the roof and the rim down at the same time. But he's going to get fouled. Wow.
Drew Fielder making threes from everywhere. UNLV's got to decide, how do they want to guard Drew Fielder? They sink the defense. Great pass by Andrews. Boise back up 11.
Back with you here at Extra Mile, and take a look at what Drew Fielder has done for the Boise State Broncos, coach.
5 for 6 from 3 tonight. Just too much space. He's been heating up all night. Again, they drive, they bring the help sinks, and again, Fielder another big 3. 5 for 6 on the night. 21 points for the junior, along with 4 rebounds. Boise, UNLV, when they drive that basketball from the top, Fielder's man is not the help. The help's got to come from the wing, or the help's got to come from the backside. When Fielder's man sinks, that's just too easy. A rhythm 3, top of the key. That's the best shot in basketball almost for a really, really good three-point shooter.
Yeah, Drew Fielder, top 10 in the league in scoring. He's second in the Mountain West among qualified in field goal percentage, as Carmichael steps to the free throw line. But Drew Fielder, by the way, is a local kid. He grew up around here. Originally from Boise, went to Rocky Mountain High School. Then went to SoCal Academy, then transferred over from Georgetown. And he talked about it being perfect timing for him at this point in his career, coming back to his hometown, Boise State. And he said Tyson Dagenhart was a big reason why he decided to come here after Tyson Dagenhart left. UNLV back down by 13. Fleming trying to turn the court. Down for Benarbi in the paint. Nice little touch. Didn't quite get it. And it's going to be off Benarbi's hands, and it should go to Boise State. And it will. UNLV got it to as little as 7 before that surge of momentum by Boise State. They're going to show them that a little bit of pressure here in the backcourt.
Extended pressure. Now they're back into their 1-1-3 zone. They've got to really be active. Tyron Jones, Walter Brown on the wing. Got to have great activity to keep that ball out of the corner.
Boise State hasn't made a pass yet in the half court. Now they made their first one. Andrews, Buchanan going to work. Left hand, nice, off the glass. Milked it all the way down, but they got a good look.
And that ball gets reset in the middle. Dre Gibbs Longhorn has to take away Buchanan in the high post.
Benarbi ran into his own man. Now going to go back up, forced it, tracks down the rebound. And now it's in Gibbs Longhorn's hand. Dancing around. Swings it to Fleming. Someone's got to shoot the ball at some point. Benarbi forcing his way in. And Boise State on the 7-0 run. Andrews, tween, another tween. No look pass into the corner. It's R.J. Keene. Oh, good look there from R.J. Keene. Didn't quite go. Fleming found himself open for a second. Patience. Now in no man's land, they reset. Oh, he double dribbled. Middle indecision by the freshman, and that'll be a turnover.
When you're down big, Derek, and you're making a run and you get yourself back in the game, you've exhausted yourself to a point. And now they've got to regroup because Boise State's responded. They've hit them with the punch now. And so UNLV, take care of the basketball on that end, get good shots, and then down here they've got to get, they have to get good stops on the defensive end.
Now it'll be A.G. Neto running the offense as Andrews gets a break. Carmichael floats it in. Almost died in the back of the rim.
They'll live with those mid-range floaters.
Good job by Boise State showing Gibbs Lawhorn two bodies, forcing a reset. Fleming one-on-one with Carmichael. May I have this dance, please? And Carmichael says, we don't like the clubs today.
A lot of tough shots in this stretch by UNLV. Tough shots around the rim, contested shots. The ball's got to move better.
Here's a mismatch inside. Parolin, that is going to be entirely too easy. And Boise State now has gotten back on their horse. Quickly, UNLV, Hamilton bumps, grinds, and finishes. So, UNLV trying to stick around. Boise State trying to shut the door. Well, tomorrow the ACC and Big Ten collide in prime time for the inaugural Nashville Hoops Showdown as number 15 Virginia takes on Bruce Thornton and Ohio State. It all begins tomorrow at 8 Eastern on Fox. Take a look at the Mountain West standings here, and a big reason why this game is so pivotal is because those top 4 teams above that red line get a bye in the first round of the Mountain West tournament.
If Boise State can get this win tonight, we talked about it, they go to Utah State, but then their schedule, they have a very favorable schedule down the stretch to really make a big push. Plus, they get San Diego State at home, so they have a couple more Quad 1 opportunities in front of them with 6 Quad 1 and Quad 2 wins already. So they could make some noise down the stretch here.
UNLV with a little bit more that faux pressure into the zone that we saw a little bit out of the timeout. Try and slow Boise State down. Spencer Aarons and Andrew Meadow back in the game for Boise State. Here are the two stars matching up. Andrews around the screen. Crossover, gets the basket, and what a move.
Really good job by Dylan Andrews re-attacking the switch, re-attacking and pick and roll and getting downhill.
Now Gibbs Lawhorn has it. Does he have a response? Brown looking for something. Looking. Here's Gibbs Lawhorn. Pump fake, step back. Here's his response. Oh, almost. Brown flying in for the offensive rebound. Baby hook doesn't go. And a foul on Nato, it looks like.
Dylan Andrews averaged 29 points this past week and wins over Nevada and New Mexico. And here's him in pick and roll. They get the switch. You re-attack the switch. You get downhill. Parolin with the great seal. And you can see Parolin seals off Jones. 58-41, the Broncos.
Boise State up by 17, and here's a look at some of the early favorites for Mountain West Player of the Year. There's some other guys up there, but Camper, Falslev, and M.J. Collins having great seasons for their respective teams.
A lot of candidates and a lot of really good players in this league. But if I'm going with one guy and I had to pick today, I'm going with Mason Falslev of Utah State. First place in the Mountain West, but also the heartbeat of that Aggies program. The mayor of Logan, Utah is who my vote would be today.
And Jake Hall of New Mexico also having a very good year.
Jaden Headley, Grand Canyon.
Yep.
Jake Hall, New Mexico.
By the way, Jaden Headley played for UNLV last year. And now he's having a very good year for the Lopes. Gibbs Lawhorn trying to do it himself, in some trouble. Gonna pull up anyway and stick it. Yeah, I guess he wasn't in trouble, was he?
Good body control by Gibbs Lawhorn.
So, by the way, that last foul heading into the break was committed by Spencer Aarons, not Nato. And he picked up his second. Just wanted to clean that up. Here is Nato with the basketball. He's on the floor with Andrews. Don't see that a lot. And offensive foul.
Very good call. Gibbs Lawhorn applying a lot of pressure on the young freshman Nato. Extends that arm. Good call by the ref.
Here is the freshman Williamson. They really like this kid, this freshman Williamson. Josh Pastner entrusting him with a lot of playing time. Has played in 22 games, averages 25 minutes as Hamilton gets the bucket go inside.
UNLV needs him to step up down the stretch. He's been quiet, 3 fouls, but they need more scoring production. Josh Pastner talked about how important he is to be on the floor, as well as Dre Gibbs Lawhorn.
7 points. And as soon as Hamilton got back on the floor, was he the one that just committed that foul? Oh, he thought the foul was on him the way he was shrugging up and down. I guess he's been used to having whistles blown all over the place on him as he leads the conference in fouls, but he's going to be fortunate because that's going to go on Brown, and he avoids his 4th foul. Missed free throw there by Meadow. And Meadow last year shot 84% from the line, 3rd the Mountain West, and he's battling some inner demons this year for Leon Rice. It's just in his head, nothing mechanically wrong. And that time he gets 1 of 2. Brown, 2 backdoor cuts, none there. Brown finds himself open. This is a big shot. Look at the vertical on Hamilton going up and getting that rebound. Hamilton getting aggressive. He's doubled, needs some help. Somehow avoids traveling. Jones, wiry, bounding. And what an acrobatic move by Tyron Jones.
Derek, he just has a knack to score 15, 12 feet and in.
I mean, his pro hop is like 20 feet across the floor. Here's Meadow in the post. Bumping, grinding, fading, and hit it.
Brown a couple times in the post. He's got to provide more physicality, extend that arm into his back deep in the paint, and really try to put more pressure and physicality on those post guys from Boise State.
Here's Hamilton straight away. Can he get going? They run the 2-man game. No foul call there. Good handoff. Jones may not have been expecting it. Now he's going to have to cook here. 5 on the shot clock. Jones again. And that time I think Aarons blocked that. And now they've got numbers. Here come the Broncos. Aarons, trail 3-pointer. It's good.
That's what he does. Good spot open threes from the young freshman from Canada.
Boise State back in the driver's seat. UNLV. Williamson. Ran out of moves on the dance floor. And he fades and hits. Wow, tough shot there by Williamson. And it keeps UNLV within 15. Williamson, now his task is to guard the transfer from UCLA. Illegal screen. And Williamson, second time on the ground, he sacrificed his body. We'll see if he's okay. Crowd doesn't like it.
Boise State, the biggest difference the last couple weeks, the three-point line. Spencer Aarons, Dylan Andrews, great unselfish basketball in transition, and leads to a wide-open three for Aarons. That's going to be called on Parolin every time, and sometimes coaches will teach their big guys, if you're not set yet, you can see he extends when his arms, his knees and legs, they can't be extended outside his base, outside of his shoulder area. He's got to be a little bit more compact. Watch it on replay, looked a little bit more ticky-tack than it did in live play.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what Leon Rice is telling the officials. And, oh, bad foul there by Nato. Picks up his first, but that is a huge foul. Actually, that's his third foul, excuse me.
One thing, Derek, coaches teach on the three-point contest, you're either going to fly by, like a lot of NBA teams like to do, you fly by and a fly-by contest and run them off the line, or you've got to close short and high jump. When you long jump and catapult yourself into the shooter, that's going to be called, and that is a tough, the last person you want to put at the free throw line is Gibbs Lawhorn.
Officials calling it just a tad bit tighter than they called it in the first half. However, this is still a far cry from the amount of hacking and fouling that went on the last time. 52 fouls committed between these two teams last time they played, just 20 combined so far.
UNLV continue to show the resiliency and the perseverance we've talked about since the beginning of the game. Down to 12 with 8 to go. Look for them to switch a lot right here on the ball.
Carmichael comes back in for Nato. Andrews on the curl. Can't quite get that one to go. UNLV back within 12. Another big possession for the Rebels. Gibbs Lawhorn, herky-jerky crossover. And what is this, a sweeping hook? And he hits him with the too small. 6'1", too small on a hook shot inside. Wow. And he nearly gets a steal. And he did get a steal. And here come the Rebels, they're running. Gibbs Lawhorn fires the three. It's good! And here come the Rebels. And if nobody else can cool off Dre Gibbs Lawhorn, Leon Rice is about to do so and attempt it right now with a timeout. 10-0 run.
Dre Gibbs Lawhorn. Josh Pastner said yesterday he's the Energizer Bunny. He can't take him off the floor. The right hand hook, the floater.
Wow.
Too little. And then transition three. Hand down, man down. Too late. UNLV has got it to 7. Cut to 7.
Well, folks, UNLV was down at one point by 23 points. And now they're only down by 7. And, Coach, I wonder why. Maybe it's a guy that they call Dre.
The Energizer Bunny, Josh Pastner refers to him as. And we've talked about it all game. He has to have him on the floor. He's become such an extension of Josh Pastner, the head coach, on the floor. And he's gotten better, Josh Pastner said. Every single game, every single practice, averages 36 minutes a game. He is instrumental to everything UNLV does. And over the last 8 games, he's taken his game up to another level. #1 in the conference in scoring.
Yeah.
#3 in the conference in three-point shooting. #3 in the conference in three-point field goals made. He may not be the player of the year in the league, but the more I sit down and watch him courtside, he may be an opportunity to be a first-team all-league guy.
Yeah, Dre Gibbs Lawhorn, he does have some basketball in his pedigree. As Fielder tries to bump and grind, and he may have traveled a couple of times. No call. It's going to stay with Boise State.
I like the fight there by Gibbs Lawhorn, trying to front fielder, trying to wedge him out of bounds, but then Walter Brown coming from the weak side and making a physical play. Josh Pastner said, if you're going to win in this league, you got to win with toughness and you got to win with physicality, and UNLV has to be the more physical, tougher team the last 7 minutes.
Carmichael, and it's swatted down right back into the ground. And here comes Gibbs Lawhorn flying out. And excuse me, here he comes again. He's a thorn in the side of the Broncos. He had a career-high 33 the last time these two teams matched up, and he is at it again.
If you're going to win on the road, your best players got to play well. Tyron Jones with the block shot, and Gibbs Lawhorn with 24 points on the night.
I mean, Jones was out there playing volleyball with that spike into the floor. Might want to find Gibbs Lawhorn again. Here he is. He's an isolation lad. Step back check. Finally missed one. But Brown tracks down the rebound. And now all of a sudden, in the first half, Boise State was winning all the 50-50 balls and getting all the offensive rebounds. And now UNLV is doing it. 10 on the shot clock. Hamilton, straight away. Got to do something with it. Got to check the clock. Jacks up the triple, and it's good! What is going on in extra mile?
You can see it developing. Dre Gibbs Lawhorn, Tyron Jones, Kamani Hamilton, the big three for UNLV stepping up to the plate. Huge in this second half.
Andrews now, fielder, has been quiet, and now they're going to get a knee foul on Tyron Jones. That's a tough call on Buchanan inside.
Dre Gibbs Lawhorn, again, having a terrific night. Kamani Hamilton, say, I've got to help you out, buddy. Face up three. Again, we've talked about it all night. Hands down, man down. You've got to crawl into guys. These three-point, when they chart contest, non-contest, too many uncontested threes.
Oh, a bad foul there in the corner. That disrupts a little bit of momentum as Carmichael was hacked in a landing space foul. But prior to that, Coach, 15-0 run by UNLV. And
the one cardinal sin, one cardinal sin, and Boise did it earlier. Yep. You don't want to, you can't foul three-point shooters. Just contest, and that was an opportunity right there for a flyby to just run by.
Yeah, you got it before me, Coach, but I was just about to say that foul on Neto, I believe, is what started that run for UNLV and changed the momentum, and now UNLV gets in its own way by fouling Carmichael in the corner.
If you're UNLV, the other thing Josh Pastner, as he yells back at the fans, he's got to keep focused on coaching his team. Don't get caught up in the fans. But he talked about a critical thing for his team to continue to improve on is points per possession on the offensive end.
Now the Broncos are going to try and continue that momentum. Gibbs Lawhorn, by the way, his dad, Benji Gibbs, was a former guard at Eastern Illinois. And he's got a brother, Leighton McGovern, that was a JUCO standout at College of the Sequoias. Tyron Jones just absolutely crashing his way in.
UNLV, they've been running flex action where they cut off the low post, send that cutter to the block for a post up. They've run it all night. They finally get an easy opportunity for a layup, and then a big offensive foul called against Boise State, illegal screen.
And Leon Rice is beside himself with what's been going on.
UNLV, they love the flex action. They've been running it all night where Tyron Jones comes across the low block off the screen. They get him in his sweet spot. Really nice hook by the young freshman.
Crowd's getting anxious here. Leon Rice. I'm sure if he had a ton of hair, he'd be pulling it out right now. Big possession for UNLV. Little bit stagnant right now. Brown looking for a DHO. Gibbs Lawhorn. He thinks this is a mismatch. And good defense there by Boise State. Stays with it, though, and he scores again.
I'd have to take a second look, but I don't know if that ball hit the rim.
Yeah.
And I think UNLV may have snuck a possession right in that situation. They may have snuck one and got a free reset.
Gibbs Lawhorn continues to be a menace to Boise society. And now they're only down by one. Carmichael, this is a big shot, and he knocks it down. And he's hurt. He's hobbling. It might be a cramp. It might be a cramp. But he knocked down a huge three-pointer as he holds his leg.
Boise State. A crucial three late by Pearson Carmichael. Boise up 4 going to the break.
Pearson Carmichael right before we went to break. And during the timeout, just sucked down a ton of electrolytes as he has been dealing with cramps. But he just knocked down a big three-pointer for Boise State.
Averaging 9 points on the year, already 14 tonight. A couple crucial threes. He had 14 in the win at UNLV. He's been big from the three-point line tonight for the Broncos. Boise State up 23 in the first half, as much as 23, as much as 17 in the second half. UNLV's taking every punch coming to down to the last round.
So we'll keep an eye on Carmichael as he was attempting to stretch it out during the timeout. Jaden Buchanan, R.J. Keene, Drew Fielder, Dylan Andrews, and Carmichael in there for Boise State. And meanwhile, it's Brown, Gibbs, Lawhorn, Kamani Hamilton, Tyron Jones, and the freshman Williamson in as we go down the stretch.
Boise State showed this in practice yesterday. Show 2-3, but match up right away and go right to man, just to kind of take a little time off UNLV's shot clock.
Another big possession here for UNLV. Gibbs Lawhorn wants to dance again. Herky jerk. Hezzy, left hand. This guy is completely unstoppable. What can't this man do today? They can't stop him.
I am so impressed with this junior.
Transfer from Illinois. Here's Buchanan. Buchanan trying to turn it on. Swatted from behind by Jones. Gets his own rebound and is fouled. And they're going to look at that. It didn't look like Brown was intending on doing a lot there, but nevertheless, Buchanan hit the deck hard.
And hopefully they just look at this and it becomes just a basketball play.
Yeah. And
Buchanan, see, Tyron Jones, he can get beat, but because of his athleticism, he can recover from behind. Walter Brown's got to get physical right there.
Oh, yeah, that's just
I think
the last play is under review for a potential flagrant foul.
To me, Derek, that looks, no question, as a basketball play.
Right.
The frustrating thing, if you're Josh Pastner and UNLV, Tyron Jones, terrific block shot. But Walter Brown has to make contact and be more physical. As you can see right here up on the screen, flagrant 1, unnecessary contact. Flagrant 2 is excessive, and you'll immediately eject it. I don't see it being either one of these. I see it being a basketball play. Buchanan shoot 2, one of the top free throw shooters in the Mountain West Conference, though. So they got the right guy on the line for the Broncos.
And our officials today, Kelly Pfeiffer, Nate Harris, Scott Brown, and this really should be quick, I'm sure, Coach.
I hope so.
Yeah.
The one thing I want to show here, Tyron Jones, terrific block, but Walter Brown, you're not going to block that shot, so you need to be vertical and go chest to chest and make Buchanan score over length. He comes down, chops down over both hands. You can see the radio team over from UNLV waving off, saying that's just a clean foul. They've got the same thought process as I do.
Now, Coach, I understand walling up. However, if Buchanan misses 1 of 2, or both, would you call that a good foul?
Great fouls. He goes 1 for 2 for a guy that's 80 plus and one of the top 5 free throw shooters in the Mountain West.
It is a flagrant foul on number 22 from UNLV. Boise State will shoot 2 shots and get the ball.
Whoa, that is a big call. Officials came over to explain it to us. What did he say?
The biggest takeaway, they said, no play on the ball. He just went straight down against his hands. Josh Pastner's got to settle down. He's getting the crowd is really on top of him over there. He's got to settle down, stay focused. Your kids have been resilient. You've done a great job keeping your team together. And you've done a great job winning on the road. Just focus on helping your guys these last 3 minutes.
And you can hear the entire echo of UNLV ball don't lie there. I mean, I did not think that was even close to a flagrant foul, but they said he made no play on the ball. I don't know. That's a big call late in this game, Coach.
I see the no play on the ball because he just went across the arms. I'm not a big fan of the call in that moment. I don't think he meant anything intentional. He's just trying to keep him from scoring an easy basket.
Well, it gives Boise State a much-needed extra possession. Let's see what they can do with it. Carmichael in the corner. Turning. They showed Fielder 2. The problem is those two are too short.
Walter Brown's just too small. The double's too small with Lawhorn and Brown. Too small. Fielder. Terrific finish over Brown.
The crowd is on their feet. Let's see if UNLV can respond. Gibbs Lawhorn. Hamilton fires away. It's good. UNLV is showing some serious character right now. Refusing to go away. Refusing to die. And a big three again after that flagrant foul.
The big three of UNLV, led by Dre Gibbs Lawhorn, Mr. Energizer Bunny, Tyron Jones, and then Kamani Hamilton, the son of Tang Hamilton. How about Kamani Hamilton? We talked about this, and Tang Hamilton, who played at Mississippi State, the father-son duo in the state of Mississippi, Gatorade Players of the Year, father and son.
Kamani Hamilton right now up to 13 points. Gibbs Lawhorn's got 28. And Hamilton was an excellent scorer at High Point. He was two-time All-Big South first team. And he was a Lou Henson Award finalist his last year there. And he led the entire Big Sky in plus-minus.
I asked Josh Pastner, going down the stretch, what do you got to prove offensively, defensively to finish strong? And what one or two players do you have to have step up? He said, I've got to have Dre Gibbs Lawhorn, Kamani Hamilton play like men the rest of the way and stay out of foul trouble. I need them on the floor.
A huge game for both of these teams is coming down to the wire. You didn't really see this coming based on how the game has started, but now it's anybody's ball game. Here's a guy that's been a closer, kicks it out, Nato for three. Jones, an excellent rebound. Deep ball for Williamson, back to Brown. They reset. Pastner calling out a play. They have a chance to tie or take the lead. They've never led the entire day. And oh, a bad error there. And now Boise State's got it. Unforced. And Carmichael used an off arm to keep the defender behind him. And Williamson's going to get the foul. But did you see Pearson Carmichael shield the defender with that right hand? I did.
I'm still thinking, did Drew Fielder get away with the travel? He picked up the possession, and he fell and rolled to the floor. But Pearson Carmichael, what you were talking about, did a really good job sealing Hamilton off. The unforced turnovers.
Yeah, that's tough.
Those are the ones that kill you. You've done such a good job of getting back into this game. But you got to value the ball. You got to take care of the basketball.
UNLV now in the bonus. Carmichael knocks down the first of the 1-and-1. Pearson Carmichael, an 81% free throw shooter. Sophomore from Bend, Oregon, knocks down two clutch ones. We're under 2 minutes, Coach. Here we go. Hamilton banging against Buchanan. Doesn't get the roll. So many Broncos went up for that rebound. It didn't matter who came down with it. Gang rebounding by the Broncos. And here is Dylan Andrews. Andrews just 10 points, but he's got the ball in his hands to close the game. Andrews, herky jerk, crosses over. Didn't get it to go. Hamilton pushing the break now. Here's Gibbs Lawhorn. Will he slow it down or will he go? He's going to go. He's going to get inside, and he finishes at one. Dre Gibbs Lawhorn has lost his skull. Are they going to count it? Yes, they will.
Toughness wins. Toughness wins on the road. Gibbs Lawhorn. Terrific finish, body control. Takes the hit, brings on the body contact with Buchanan. Phenomenal finish. Josh Pastner's cheering to the fans. He's cheering to his team. We got a one-point game in Boise.
31 points for the man they call Draven. 2 off of his career high. He's talking to the crowd. He's talking to the bench and anybody who will listen to him. Have yourself a day. Now here comes Boise State. The foul went on Buchanan, who picked up his second. Huge possession for the Broncos. They got Fielder in a mismatch, and Brown, Brown nearly got a clean steal. But they're going to call a foul. Maybe a little bit of hands on the back. Walter Brown picks up foul number 3, and that's going to send the hometown kid Drew Fielder to the free throw line. So the refs have definitely tightened up this game. It was a free-flowing, lack of fouling game in the first half, but now as it gets more physical, more fouls are being called.
Walter Brown, a cheap foul there.
Set a couple of those, Coach.
Try to do a better job of getting Fielder off the paint. You got him off the block. Now just make it tougher for him to catch.
Fielder, 77% on the charity stripe. And by the way, Boise State is one of the best free throw shooting teams in the country, at 24th in the nation. At around, 78%.
First in the league, 77%. Buchanan, Fielder, Carmichael, Andrews. If you're going to foul anybody out there, Nato, the freshman's the one to foul.
Crowd once again rising to their feet. Gibbs Lawhorn jacks up a triple and knocks it down. Dre Gibbs Lawhorn is yelling through a bullhorn. And it's a tied ball game with 10 seconds separating shot clock and game clock, and Leon Rice wants to call a timeout. A career-high 34 from Dre Gibbs Lawhorn.
Dre Gibbs Lawhorn, he has been phenomenal. Great job getting open on the little pin down action, the flex, faking the flex action, coming up and not even hesitating and making threes over the long stretched hands of Drew Fielder. Gibbs Lawhorn, watching him over the last several weeks in preparation when I watched them at Utah State, and then tonight here at Boise, he loves the moment. He's wired to win, and he is the leader. 12 for 19 from the field, 6 for 11 from 3, career high 34. And again, the big key, Boise State talked about it the last 2 days in practice and shoot around. We're going to give them different looks. Yeah. We're going to look to trap them, blitz them, get 2 on the ball, and take that ball out of his hands when he comes off ball screens. They did a very good job early in the game switching screens, making it a lot harder for him to get the ball back off that flex pin down action. Yeah. They really fell asleep, but he's done a better job setting up his cuts late and being efficient in his cuts. And if you're going to win, we've talked about it, your best players got to play well. Their big 3, the last 10, 12 minutes, has stepped up in a major way. Tyron Jones protecting the basket, Kamani Hamilton inside, outside, and Dre Gibbs Lawhorn, Mr. Energizer Bunny, Josh Pastner calls him, being the extension of Josh Pastner on the floor. If Josh Pastner wins this game, he's got to get his butt to the locker room. He's got to get himself to the locker room. And get away from that crowd over there.
Gibbs Lawhorn is listed at 6'1". I think that's generous. Really reminds me of, tell me what you think about this. It reminds me of a player, reminds me of Carson Edwards. Small guy, small point guard, who plays much bigger than his size.
The Purdue grade, that's a good comparison. Ability to really make shots and really score.
Speaking of scoring, here's Andrews dancing with the ball. 8 in the shot clock. Buchanan fires a 3. It's short, and UNLV's got the rebound. They won't call a timeout. They're just going to let Dre Gibbs Lawhorn go. He's going to dance. He's going to pull up. It's going to be an air ball, no foul call, and we are going to overtime. We know officials don't like to call it and decide the game like that. Coach, what do you think? Was there contact there, or you think that it's good that they let it go?
I would love to see, I'd love to have another look, but we've got overtime, and this has been an unbelievable comeback. Overtime when we come back.
The start of overtime here. All tied up at 77 all. And here is that last play, Coach. What do you think?
Josh Pastner, he wants his best player in space to go one-on-one, and I think it's a good call. I like that. We'll take another look and see if we see something there.
Ooh.
The ball, I like the play on right there. You can look at it a couple different ways, but I think that they made the right call in that situation. Josh Pastner, no timeout, trusted his point guard, Gibbs Lawhorn, to go make a play. Dylan Andrews doing a good job staying in front of the ball. But these two juniors have been terrific tonight.
Yeah.
Gibbs Lawhorn, 12 for 20, career high, and then the hometown hero, Drew Fielder, having a terrific night offensively.
And Coach, is that a foul in the first 35 minutes of the game, do you think? Or is that all the time? That's no foul there.
The tricky play when you watch it on replay, Gibbs Lawhorn has the ball in his right hand. Andrews makes contact with his left hand before he goes into his shooting motion. Then when he releases, so I like the play on right there.
Here's the start of overtime here in a game that really has no business being in overtime based on the way it started, but credit the fight of UNLV to get back in this game and fight through all the adversity they face. Fielder, by the way, nearing his career high, and there it is. Ties it at 27.
UNLV's had a hard time handling Drew Fielder in the post one-on-one, just not enough size and length to defend him.
They deny Gibbs Lawhorn the ball that time. Still comes to get it anyway. No double team right now. And he lost it. Got it back. Here's Brown. This is a big three. Not there. Hamilton battling, and Boise State comes up with a loose ball. What a game we've been treated to here at Mountain West After Dark. Does it get better than Mountain West After Dark? I don't think it does. Andrews forcing the issue. Clean steal by Williamson. Took his cookies.
Good no call both ways. Both ways. I thought both offense and defense both brought contact to each other.
Brown looking for something. They've got Hamilton short corner. Wow, what a backdoor pass. Oh, he missed it, but a foul. And I'm sure Brown is beside himself, like, why did I not make that? I was right there.
Really good vision right by Kamani Hamilton. He sees Brown get loose underneath. Boise State just falls asleep. Walter Brown unable to get the and one, but an opportunity. 2 free throws tie the game.
Walter Brown spent his last 5 years playing in New Zealand. He's a senior in his first year playing college basketball. And he misses that one. Carmichael had the foul. Yes, 3. Go ahead, Coach.
If you're Boise State, Walter Brown is one of the guys that you're okay with fouling because of his free throw percentage. It's one of the lowest on the teams. He's a guy you would foul in situations where you needed to put someone on the line late game.
He came in 13 of 19 from the line. Here's Meadow. By the way, Meadow has been really quiet, just 7 points. He's in a little bit of trouble. And that's going to be a defensive foul on Williamson. It was close.
Hamilton must not have been set. The drive by Buchanan, and Hamilton just not quite set yet. Almost leans into Buchanan.
Yeah, that's Williamson, Coach. Williamson. Yeah. Yes. The foul was on Williamson.
Yes. Buchanan, the wrong guy on the line. Very, very good free throw shooter.
Knocks down the 1-and-1. Aiden Buchanan did not play the last game that these two teams faced against each other, which was another overtime game, by the way. but he's an excellent free throw shooter, one of the best in the Mountain West. Boise State back up by 3.
Boise State's last home win, they had to do it in overtime against Nevada.
UNLV has taken so many punches during this game. Let's see if they have another counter punch in their system. Hamilton. Williamson, a big 3. It's good. A laser from downtown, and UNLV has counterpunched once again.
Pearson Carmichael finds himself in no man's land.
Yep.
Not really helping on the dribble with Hamilton, and too extended away from Hamilton. Gives up the open look.
Neto in the corner. Now Carmichael in the corner. They want Fielder on a mismatch. Fielder. And blocked by Jones, but is that a goaltend?
Josh Pastern right away looks at his iPad coach to say, should we challenge this? Josh Pastern has 2 timeouts, so he can challenge this. You can only challenge the goaltend if the referee makes the call. Tyron Jones coming from the weak side. It looked from my angle like it was a goaltend.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I tell you what, I take that back. I think that's a good block. Tyron Jones gets it on the way up.
The call on the floor is a goaltend. The last play is under review.
I jokingly always call that coach behind the bench the iPad coach. And they have so much pressure on them now as the one that deals with, are we going to tell that our boss to challenge or not challenge? I think it's a great challenge by UNLV. Taking a look at the replay, I think Fielder's shot's on the way up, and Tyron Jones, the leading shot blocker in the Mountain West, coming from the weak side. But when Fielder, what will help UNLV inside, when Fielder's one-on-one in the post, just more resistance, whether it's Hamilton, Brown, harder to catch it first, and then more resistance in the paint to try to push him out a little bit. So we await the result of the challenge. In the last 2 minutes, the referees will look at the they will look at restricted arcs, they will look at goaltending. On the last 2 minutes, you have to have a timeout to challenge out of bounds. But this is not a challenge. They just told us this is a referees went right to it to make a call. This is a referees initiated this.
So Tyron Jones, as you said, the leading shot blocker in the Mountain West, and he was coming off the bench for a majority of the season. As a matter of fact, Tyron Jones, his career high in blocks was 6. He did that earlier in November against St. Joseph's, and that was off the bench.
If I have any dog in the fight or I have any decision in this, I think it's a clean block.
After review, the last play was not a goaltend. Since there was no possession, we go to the arrow. It will be UNLV basketball.
Wow. And what a big turn of events for UNLV, with the fortunate arrow also in their favor. By the way, Coach, they've done this, and Emmanuel Steffen has not played a ton, the starting center. So it's been the other guys getting involved with this big run.
Josh Pastner's believed in Kamani Hamilton at the 5, and Walter Brown, the mix match of those 2 guys at the 5 spot a lot.
Brown in some trouble. Hamilton's got it. Wrong guy to leave open. Buchanan got undisciplined. Gibbs Longhorn goes to the basket and scores. So that time he chased him off the line, but Coach.
Terrific fundamental basketball by Gibbs Longhorn. Shot fake, gets the defender up, attacks the paint.
And Coach, as we know, if a player heats up from out there, now you have to respect that even more. And now he has a lane to the basket. And now UNLV gets a steal. And they have the lead. I cannot believe UNLV has the lead. And I'm sure Boise State fans can't believe that either, but they've got it. And now this is a huge possession defensively for Boise State and offensively for UNLV. Brown in trouble again. And a 5-second no dribbling call. You rarely see it, but a mistake there by Brown.
Walter Brown, I thought he had Kamani Hamilton on that pin down slip and he just couldn't get it to him. Good ball pressure, credit Boise State's defense, but Hamilton had the slip open just for a quick second.
Andrews, nice pocket pass. Oh, what a rejection again! Jones got up off the pogo stick and threw back another one.
Athleticism around the rim. That's what has impressed me about this UNLV basketball team all season long when I watch them. Stephen can protect the rim, but then Tyron Jones is an elite rim protector.
Gibbs Lawhorn backs it out. Here he goes again into his motion. He's cut off. Jones turned down the three. Kick out. Williamson fires. Kamani Hamilton on the glass. Fresh shot clock at 20. They back it out again. Gibbs Lawhorn catching his breath. Trying to take the air out of ExtraMile. Here he goes. Cross, step back two-pointer. It's short. Oh, what a follow! Tyron Jones descending from the stratosphere. And it gives UNLV a 4-point lead. Leon Rice calls a timeout. Tyron Jones has done it again. Holy smokes!
When he subbed in the game for the first time, we put the spotlight on him. Gibbs Lawhorn in trouble, takes a tough fadeaway, but Tyron Jones, out of through nowhere, dunks it back for UNLV 4-point lead. You've got to put a body on this young freshman. Too athletic, too much energy, and too much grit and toughness. He's shown so much resolve. The 2 games that I've covered him live, Utah State, he gets injured in the first half, has to sit out, and comes back and is instrumental in their win at Utah State. This UNLV basketball team now has an opportunity to have road wins at Stanford, at Memphis, at Utah State, and now at Boise State.
Tyron Jones tripping with athleticism, flowing with electricity.
If you're Boise State, Derek, no panic. Let's get a quick score. Doesn't have to be a 3. Just need to get a basket right here and then set up your defense and set up your press.
Rice has only got 1 timeout left and a bad foul there. It's a block. And they bailed out Boise State a little bit there. It's Brown again. That's his 4th. So now he's only got 1 left.
And this is the absolutely wrong guy. That's the worst thing. And the one thing Josh Paster's talked about his team, defend without fouling. That's the biggest thing they have to improve on if they want to take another step this season as they close these last couple weeks of the regular season. A quick, cheap foul, that's the last thing you want. And then you put Dylan Andrews. He's number 2 in the league in free throw shooting. And he's got a chance to be one of the set the all-time single-season Boise State record for free throw percentage.
And Leon Rice just went to freshman Bun Buam, who's checked in for the first time today, along with Nato. And he probably anticipated that UNLV was going to call that timeout. But
what Leon Rice is thinking right there is offense, defense, because they know they have to foul, and he doesn't want to put a foul on one of his other main guys in case they go to double overtime.
And boy, if Boise State ends up dropping this game with the upcoming schedule that they have, you see their Utah State showdown right around the corner, and then the schedule gets a little bit softer before they get to San Diego State. But I mean, this would just be a horrible game for Boise State to drop. And it would be a big-time opportunity for the Runnin' Rebels as you see what they have coming up, Coach.
If UNLV wins this tonight, this will be their 5th Quad 1, Quad 2 win. And then they go home for Colorado State, a game that they will be favored, and then at Air Force, another game. They could put a little streak together, headed to Grand Canyon.
Josh Pastner came back from a couple of years off of coaching to come back. He saw this opportunity with UNLV, and Coach, if he comes in here and wins this game, as some of the other Mountain West teams have fallen back to the pack, this would be a signature win for Josh Pastner. Well, they put Boom in the game, likely to foul. NATO's also in the game with Buchanan and Fielder defensively. See if they can get it in. They get it in. They double. They got to foul that guy, I would think. They don't. Williamson trapped in the corner, and then they foul him. And I'm not quite sure. Why didn't they foul Walter Brown there, Coach?
Walter Brown is the one you want to foul in this situation with the lineup, or Tyron Jones. Those are the two guys. Tyron Jones, 50% from the line. Walter Brown, under 70%.
But so is Williamson, Coach. So maybe they...
And Williamson. You got Williamson. You got three guys out there. Williamson, Tyron Jones, and Walter Brown that are all okay to foul. The ones you don't, obviously, Dre Gibbs, Lawhorn. You're not going to put that kid's moxie on the free throw line. He's not going to miss.
So Williamson at the line, a big spot for the freshman on the 1-and-1. And he missed it. Can Boise State get the rebound? They can. They've got a chance. Here's Andrews. 6 seconds. Andrews to the basket. Floater is up. No good. It's out. UNLV's got the rebound. Did they foul? They did. Oh, a big miss there from Andrews. Got right down Main Street to the basket. Fielder fouled in the backcourt after the miss, and a big missed opportunity for Boise State.
Dylan Andrews, I thought maybe he got fouled early in that possession. It was shielded off from the ref's angle where they almost had his jersey for a second. But when you drive it in the paint late game, you want to play off 2 feet, be under control, try to draw that foul. Tough play. Dylan Andrews, he's been so good for this Boise State Bronco team the last couple weeks.
Brown with a chance to seal it. He makes the first one. Leon Rice does have one timeout. But if Brown makes this, then it's good night time for Boise State. Big free throw by Brown, and he missed it. Here's a rebound, and Leon Rice calls a timeout. And as of now, 0.8 on the clock. I'm sure the officials will probably check to see if that's accurate on the amount of time. But now they've opened the door for Boise State, Coach.
The last thing Boise State did today at shoot-around was what? Special situations. They went through every special situation. Getting the ball to half court. Now, they can't do it right now with no timeouts, and they got to have a 3. But they went through every situation. Need a 2, need a 3, full court, side out of bounds, underneath out of bounds. They are ready. They've been in this situation before. They've got to make a good pass. We've seen it many times. We saw it earlier in this year. Wake Forest beat Memphis in the Bahamas earlier. Steve Forbes had the Bryce Drew home run play. You've seen Bryce Drew make this play years ago in the NCAA tournament. So it can be done. You have over 0.3, so you can catch and shoot. So they have time. They just...
After review, there is 1 second
wow,
on the game clock.
that's big.
Boise State ball on the end line. 1 second.
We also saw them run a football play and shoot around.
The football play won't help them right here. The football play, they're running more to get the ball in against pressure to get fouled late. The biggest thing they got to be aware of, Tyron Jones, Emmanuel Steffen, Josh Pastor may put them on the ball. They cannot run the baseline because it's a missed free throw and the ball is spotted. And you can see Tyron Jones looks like he's going to be all over the ball. It'll be interesting to see if Boise runs somebody up there to screen Tyron Jones off the ball so that R.J. King can have a better angle. And Pastor's going to, Josh Pastor's going to call a timeout.
They call that they call it the Kodak timeout, Coach, where it gets a little snapshot of what Boise State's doing. So the chess match between the two coaches. And of course, Coach, in this situation, there's no fouling up 3 here. That does not exist because it's 1 second left. So it's just going to be a heave and a fire. You cannot foul at all.
Foul up 3, especially with the continuation rule change, I think in this situation is too risky. It's just too risky right now. So you're going to play this out. They got Tyron Jones on the ball. The biggest thing Tyron Jones needs to be aware of is not running into the guy. Worst case scenario there, it just puts you in 2 free throws, though, and they'd have to make one and then get a tip in. Tyron Jones, athletic on the ball, and then any ball that comes down, just knock it down or grab it It's Boise's possession arrow. You've got to be aware of that as well. But Boise, don't be in a panic. You have time to catch, turn, and shoot, a la Christian Leitner.
So you've got Andrew Meadow, R.J. Keene, Andrews, and Fielder, and Buchanan, all three-point shooters currently on the floor.
My thought would be they're trying to get it to Fielder just because of the size in this situation and the ability to get it off against length because of his size.
And Fielder hit the game-tying three
to send it in overtime. Last time at Vegas, he hit it.
So Boise State down to their last gasp. Down by 3. It'll be Keene to inbound the ball. Boise State has shooters everywhere. 1 second to go.
I like what Josh Pastner's doing right here. He's got Tyron Jones on the ball. He's got Walter Brown playing almost center field to just knock any pass down or deflect any pass. And it looks like Dylan Andrews is going to look to screen Tyron Jones just to get Keene a better angle.
Andrews went over to talk with Keene about something. Now he's going to hustle over to Leon Rice and get some last-minute instructions.
The one thing Tyron Jones needs to know, he cannot lean over and touch the ball. If he leans over and touches the ball in live play, that is a technical foul. So with his length, he still has to be smart.
Good call there, Coach. Andrews getting the last word from Rice.
How about these cardiac kids from UNLV?
Here's the last gaps. There's the deep ball, and it's knocked away. Will there be any time left? That's the only question. It was Brown, as you said, playing that middle of the field spot. And if it's .3, Coach, you can't legally get off a shot. So
when they go to the timer, it is without question Boise State's basketball. Walter Brown doing a great job as the center fielder.
The previous play is under review for timing.
Walter Brown, he just can't get control of it. This is crucial because what you mentioned, if it lands at .3, the game is mathematically over because they can't get a catch and shoot off. If it lands at .4, now, and that's what Leon Rice is drawing up right now, a quick catch and shoot. Drew Fielder, Javen Buchanan, Andrew Meadow, one of those 3 guys, or possibly Dylan Andrews.
How about at the end of all this game, Coach? The end comes down to whether it's .3 or .4 seconds, and it matters.
It's critical. And you can see Tim Duryea, the offensive assistant, drawing up the play in the huddle. Leon Rice.
After review, .3 is the correct time on the clock.
There you go. .3 is the ruling. So there's almost no play for this unless you want to throw it in and tap it to the rim or something from 3.
And that's why UNLV, they almost want to circle themselves all around the three-point line and let Boise State just throw it in, because the worst thing that could happen is you throw it up the rim to Fielder, he taps one in, tips one in, and you get an and one. That's the only thing I can do right now. So UNLV, just let everything go.
Here's Keene looking. And nope, that's not going to count. Can't get the shot off. And so that will do it. UNLV storms back from down 23 points, comes into extra mile, and absolutely stuns the Boise State Broncos on their home floor, Coach. Wow, what a game.
Phenomenal job by Josh Pastner and his running Rebels. Tyron Jones, Dre Gibbs, Longhorn, Kamani Hamilton.
So for Coach Steve Prohm and the rest of the Fox Sports crew, I'm Derek Clark, signing off on another episode of Mountain West After Dark. Thank you all for tuning in.